What is going on, Knicks fans? Welcome back into Knicks Media. My name is Richie, and boy, oh boy, the New York Knicks were unable to get a back-to-back win, right? We win in convincing fashion Sunday against Milwaukee, and then we have Detroit last night, and the Knicks fought their way back. They clawed their way back, but the Detroit Pistons had two clutch threes in the end, and they were unable to get over the hump, and they lose. It is the official midway point on the season for the New York Knicks, 41 games in, and the Knicks are 26-15. There's a lot of rumors about Jericho Sims potentially getting traded. Where do the Knicks go from here? Shout out to BetUS for being the proud sponsor of Knicks Media. Hope everybody is having a fantastic Tuesday, and I want to give you guys my midseason evaluation of the New York Knicks. If I told you before the season that the New York Knicks are in the third seed in the East, midway, and they're 26-15, would you guys be happy with that or not, right? Obviously, there needs to be context that's added to the reasons for our success, and the context is Karl-Anthony Towns is having a career year with the New York Knicks. That trade looks like it was perfect for the Knicks, not just for this season, but for the future. Mikal Bridges, up and down season. Right now, he's in a low right now, even though last night he actually had, 6 3-pointers? Looked pretty darn good. Obviously wasn't perfect, but he's been hot and cold, Mikal Bridges. And I feel like you look at the Knicks teams that they beat, you look at the Knicks teams that they're losing to, the big narrative is that they have to be able to contend against the elite. The Milwaukee Bucks, they're a good team. They're no longer in the elite category like they were when they won the championship. And it was awesome to see the Knicks be able to dominate a team like the Milwaukee Bucks. But then you match up against the Detroit Pistons, and now we've lost twice to the Pistons at our home floor. Not a good look. Not a good look. Now, the Pistons are more improved than they have been in recent years. Cade Cunningham is a star in this league, in my opinion. I mean, Cade Cunningham is that dude, but the Knicks should be able to beat the Pistons. I mean, let's be honest. They're definitely a better team this year. They're 2 games above 500. They maybe even be a playoff team this year. But at the end of the day, the defense for the Knicks is not there on a consistent basis. They're not there every single night. And what this Knicks team is built on is defense. And when you have a back-to-back game, you see the fatigue, you see the lack of hustle, you see the lack of sticking with the roots. So where do the Knicks go from here, right? I think that the New York Knicks are a great team, but they're not yet at that level that we feel like they can get to. And maybe we can get there with more depth and more time together and playing on a string. We're heading into the trade deadline. It's a few weeks away. Jericho Sims' name is circulating around the trade rumors, and we all know Leon Rose likes to be active at the trade deadline. Some people are saying, do the New York Knicks need to go out there and make a trade? Do we need depth? We do. Deuce McBride has been back, and he's been pretty solid, right? You look at what the Knicks did last night. The bench unit, not really do much. 13 points off the bench. 10 points from Payne, 3 points from McBride. Precious, 0 points. Shamet, 0 points. We don't have anybody off the bench to rely on. Thibodeau is relying way too much on the starting 5. So the issue with the Knicks right now is the depth, and we knew that was going to be an issue right when we made the trade for Karl-Anthony Towns, trading away Dante and Julius Randle for Cat. But I feel like that trade was more for a long-term investment than a short-term investment, because now Karl-Anthony Towns is here for 4 years, and I think every Knicks fan will do that trade all over again. That trade was the right move, especially when you look at what Randall's doing in Minnesota. That was the right trade for the Knicks. But we may, unfortunately, as a fan base, need to come to the realization that it may take another offseason or two to get depth behind Cat, behind Brunson, behind these starting. The Knicks arguably have the best starting 5 in basketball in terms of efficiency, points scored, just from a unit of 5 players that start. But then the guys off the bench has been lacking. And that's the issue right now. That's the clear issue. So we'll see where the Knicks lie when it comes to how they match up against Philadelphia tomorrow night. We need that win bad, because there's a lot of people out there that are questioning the New York Knicks. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Outlaw, my boy. Cat is good. It's just the interior defense. Yeah, and Cat is not an interior defender. We all know that. Mitchell Robinson is. We miss him. I wish Mitch can get healthy ASAP, but there's no guarantee. When is Mitch coming back? I don't know, man. I don't know. We can't win a championship, but the Knicks might. Who's your team? That was a really good trade for the Knicks, but we definitely missed Dante. Yeah, it was a really good trade. And I feel like the trade that we made for Cat, we need to realize that was not just a short-term trade. That was a long-term investment. Like, we may not see the full potential of that trade yet because of we killed the depth, but we added a star. Arguably, superstar. I mean, Cat is doing stuff that is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Trav says they saying Mitch coming back early February. That would be huge. That would be massive because we needed an interior presence. I'm a Knicks fan, but none of us are on the team, so we cannot win a chip. I think Knicks fans will say if the Knicks win a championship, we all feel like we won it together. Stop saying we when talking about the team, LMAO. How do you guys feel about that? I know some people get upset when you say we, referring to your favorite basketball team. The way I look at it is, as a fan, I put so much investment of my energy into them, so I just feel like I'm connected to them. I mean, the fans fuel the NBA. Without the fans, there's no basketball. Without the fans, there's no Knicks. There's no contracts. There's no revenue. So I feel like I'm part, and us fans are part of it. So yeah, when I talk about the Knicks, I'm like, we have to go out there and win the game. I'm not playing on the court, of course, but as a fan, that's how I feel. Not saying everybody has to feel that way, but I guess that's why I always say we when talking about my favorite team. Not a big deal, in my opinion. But I feel like the New York Knicks need to figure out a way to get hot and deal with adversity the right way. Bro, don't listen to the trolls, LOL. Every fan says we. Yeah, I mean, I just had to justify, even in my own brain, why I say we. Right? At this point, we are third in the East. We will be fine in the end, 26-15 with the new core and a bunch of personalities in the starting five, regardless of the losses, is pretty damn good in my opinion. All right? Let's go. Let's go. So I feel like at the end of the day, this Knicks team has to come together and handle adversity properly. All right? And I feel like they are doing that. All right? I hate you have to reply to... Hey, man, it's all good. No reason to get after each other. We all differing opinions, all different perspectives of this world. I respect everyone's views. I feel like the way I look at it is this. The Knicks got to finish the season as a top 4 seed. Top 3, because we don't want to lose and get, regress here. But let's be honest, folks. All these regular season games, they're fun. We got to talk about it. We got to get involved. We got to recap this game, recap that game. But the real thing that matters, Knicks fans, is simple. We got to stay healthy and start playing our best basketball in April when the playoffs begin. That's it. I mean, these games are obviously meaningful in the regular season. But let's not get... I don't want us Knicks fans to start overreacting to every single game. When we lose, everything's falling apart. I mean, I just couldn't disagree more. I trust this Knicks team. Do I trust them to go out there and win the NBA title? I'm not going to say that right now. I'm not that delusional. Am I hopeful that we can get over the hump of getting eliminated in round 2 like we have the last 2 years? Yeah, I'm hopeful. But I feel like us Knicks fans, we need to come together and realize that we are still a good team. And if you look at the odds on BetUS Sportsbook, the number 1 online sportsbook, as always, guys, you know that they are powering Knicks media all season long. Let's check out the odds to win the conference, all right? So the Knicks, being the Eastern Conference champions, is at plus 550. They're the third betting favorite, which is obvious because we're the third seed. Makes sense. We're the third seed in the East, third betting favorites to come out of the Eastern Conference. But it's interesting because it really does feel like it's a 3-team race for that East. Celtics are the betting favorites over the Cavs, even though the Cavs have been better this season. They trust the Celtics championship DNA over the Cavaliers, I assume. The Knicks are at plus 550 to come out of the Eastern Conference, and there's not another team close. So it feels like it's a 3-team race for the East, according to BetUS. In the West is more interesting. OKC is the favorite at plus 120. So if you guys want to go check out BetUS, use the code YouTube150 to sign up today, and you get a 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. Big time shout out to BetUS as always. Now, I don't know if I announced this to you guys, but I have a new spot on Bleacher Report weekly. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. I would love if you guys can come through and support me on Bleacher Report. I'm going to be live there today at 5 p.m. If you guys can come through, that would be awesome. I ought to be talking all things Knicks, all things, trade rumors, evaluating the first half of the season, going deep into my analysis of this New York Knicks team on Bleacher Report. Pull up. You think the Knicks should do a trade? I do. I mean, I think Jericho Sims is a trade asset that you can sacrifice. It's clear they're not rushing Mitch back. I firmly believe this is the team we will have. I can't see a deal happening. They can't really hard cap. Yeah, I trust the Knicks front office. I mean, Leon Rose and Brock Aller, who's the cap wizard. I trust them to figure out if they want somebody, they'll figure out how. They're addicted to trades, bro. This team was built off of trades. Let's be honest. This team is built off of trades. Traded for Cat, traded for Bridges, traded for Anunoby, traded for Josh Hart. 4 of our 5 starters we traded for. Jalen Brunson we brought in free agency. Deuce McBride we drafted. I trust Leon Rose to find the right guy via the trade market. He's the trade wizard. He really is. Sorry about that. Don't touch the rookies. Yeah, I think we can. And I know that we gave up a lot of our trade assets via the NFL draft, but I still think that we're going to be able to get people in the building regardless of the situation. And another thing, there was a tweet about OG ignoring JB on a pick defense, and OG stared at him. I wonder if there is some ego problem backstage. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not going to go that far to think at all. So I'm not going to read too much into this. I'm not just yet. Not yet. If it continues, if there's a trend there, then yes, I will start. But folks, we're going to wrap up the show here. Wanted to go live for a little bit with you all before I go live on Bleacher Report later today at 5 p.m. EST to give you all my latest about the news of Jericho Sims and the Knicks' 26-15 record at the midway point of the season. I love you all. Big shout out to BetUS as always for sponsoring this show and all shows all season long. Love you all. My name is Richie, and I'll see you guys on Bleacher Report later today, folks. Peace out.